It's really about looking for those projects where there's a clearly stated design intent and then a meaningful use of color to support that design intent. It's done in a purposeful way where there's a seamless integration, so it's not color that's applied in an afterthought manner. It's sort of inextricable from the architecture. So the color enhances the architecture enhances the color.
I'm looking for when color extends the design idea and is not something that comes afterwards or comes particularly decoratively, but that the idea itself is furthered by the use of color.
I feel that color is adding also a lot of sensual effects and human effects to something that has been beautifully designed. And the question is if it does fit all together and if it does make a sense in what they wanted to achieve. So color should be also, something that could create an atmosphere that we feel, and it could enhance a feeling. And the question is if that feeling connects well and if that is a beautiful 360 kind of, play at the end.
What I like about this project is that it's primarily a white project, but this splash of green, which is both in terms of the plants that you see on this picture, but also the plants you get to later, and this portal. It's a very simple project. You're in a white space, you go through a green portal, and you're then in a white space again. And then there's the splash of color, which is the color of the outside. It's very interesting because it kind of conjures up Stanley Kubrick's 2001 and kind of sterile white medical environment. And yet there are all of these big splashes of color. And so what we said before, we were looking for how does color extend the idea of the project? I think it does it nicely. Green is the threshold. It tells you where to go. It tells you where to sit. It tells you even subconsciously how to feel, and it's helpful.
Because this is where I thought the feeling was really presented through color. I think if I was a user, I would just walk in and sit there and wait for my dentist appointment, and will probably calm down without realizing, because of the fact that this type of color, and they connect to the outdoor and the amount of natural light, which is of course
that color is creating an atmosphere for the patients, and it becomes suddenly, or is playing a role to welcome visitors and calming them down.
The Dentista office really is about using color to create the atmosphere, but also from an architectural standpoint, it's about placemaking. It's really about defining clearly defined zone. The green area is both a threshold and a space within the space. And in fact, the color or the absence of color is what helps you almost get a very clear read of the different components of the program. And sometimes it's the natural color of wood, sometimes it's the absence of color or the white, other times it's the view out or it's the green ribbon. But it's very carefully and architecturally constructed. So you get this sense of calm, of order, of scale, all that in a very small package.